Good morning and welcome to Soulshine. This is episode 25 and I am your host, Serenity Jenny. Thanks for tuning in. I owe you all an apology. Things have been crazy busy this week, and again, I am slipping on these podcasts. So Melissa, Stacy, Connie, Jason, oh my gosh, I love hearing from you guys. I'm getting your messages. You always can text the number or leave a message, 724-953-9733. Send us an email at synergyspringssoulcenter@gmail.com or go onto our website at Synergy Springs. I want to hear from you. I want to know what country you're listening in from. Oh my goodness, I'm checking the statistics and I'm looking and hey, Germany, New Zealand, Alaska, wow, Australia, you guys are awesome. I love this. Hey, New York, life hacks out there, great podcast. Trying to tune into some other things while I'm on the road today. I'll be doing a meeting in a different county, so I'll have some time to listen to some other podcasts. So I'm really excited to network with everybody. This is really fun. So I've had a crazy busy week. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that probably tomorrow or later today when I make a big decision. But I kind of want to tell you guys a little bit about how I started to become enlightened. So the first step in my enlightening process is, and that's funny too, enlightening process sounds like I'm getting my hair done, right, Tina? Sounds like my hair's getting lightened. Or Billy Lynn, oh my gosh, I don't even know if you guys can hear, but my phone rings and I'm trying to not have that happen. I have to figure out how to do that. So let's just say it. Reality is not always everything that's cracked up to be, right? Because we are convinced at times that we are a victim of the reality we are in, and then that is actually inaccurate, because you have the right at any time to adjust your sails, so to speak, on your vessel to actually align with a different frequency or reality. And I'm going to tell you that I've done that, and I've done it so many different times that I had a doctor's appointment on Tuesday. I have just aligned myself prior to walking into AGH because I do still have to balance my Western medicine and Eastern medicine approaches. So it's complete balance. And I had to learn that the hard way. But I gave up the story of being a victim. There's a quote by, I think it's Daniel Quinn, author of Ishmael. He says, "We're all captives of a story." And I thought that was complete bullshit, because I'm like, that's not true. I have a blank slate for today. I have a blank coupon for today, and I get to write anything on it that I want. I'm not captive of my story. But then I realized I could still possibly be in that reality because I allow things to define me. And, we all succumb to those, a prescription of limitation from society. We're not limited. We're unlimited beings. And the reason that we can adjust to a frequency that we choose is because we are limitless. Say that affirmation. I am limitless. Feel it resonate in your body. I am limitless. I am limitless. I am limitless. I am limitless. And again, kind of lending itself to the decision I'm making or I have made in the last 24 hours. I am realizing how much I need to teach and live in a limitless fashion and lead by example, because my frequency can be liberating to another being who is searching, because they can adjust themselves to that frequency too. And they say, well, look, Jen did it. And, that's why I'm given from this place in my heart that, I am no saint. Trust me, I am no saint. Wait till you read this book. I, lay pretty much every shade I've ever thrown out there, because I really don't, it's not that I don't care, but, nobody has power over me because I've written my story down. I've released that story of who I was, and I am now just being in the moment. So, and here's another quote for you too. There's a Turkish-born psychiatrist that's, I'm going to mess her name up. I can't remember. It's Shafika Karagulia, I believe it is. and it's man's concept of the world built on the experience of five senses is no longer adequate, and in many cases no longer valid, because, okay, truly, that's one sphere of our being, is our physical senses. So those five senses, they are sensory information coming in, but that's not the end all to be all, right? So how can you say, according to your senses, that is only one sphere of your being, because that's physical? There's physical, psychological, emotional, energetic, and spirit weaves that all together. So you're working with five elements there of your being, and you are going to only address the information coming in from your five senses. And that's going to completely define your reality. I don't know about you, but that doesn't even make sense. Truly, think about that. Like one sphere of your being, think about 4 circles of being. This is our Synergy Springs logo, right? And when I channeled this logo and I got it, it's probably been about 1.5 years now, 2 years ago, I heard my mom saying to me, the Native American belief system, that there are 4 rooms in my father's house. There are 4 chambers to your heart, your 2 atrium and your 2 ventricles. So physical, psychological, emotional, energetic. Great Spirit is the pumping, or the Spirit is the weaving together of all of that. Or you can see that even as the blood flowing through the heart. So just stuff to think about. Like, that's only one aspect of your being. There are 4 aspects. Like, truly, when I was, looking at diagnostic criteria for patients previously in the field, clinically, as a clinician, I was leaving out 2 of the 5. Truly. I mean, we may have asked like 3 to 5 questions on spiritual belief systems and like seeing how spiritually your intellect or your emotional quotient, intelligence quotient, spiritual intelligence, emotional intelligence. There's so many different things that we can address here, but like really looking at that, we were not fully addressing that, and we have never, and I mean never, until I came into the field of energy medicine, looked at the energy of a being in traditional 12-step drug and alcohol treatment, mental health treatment. Like, nobody wants to say somebody has an attachment or low-level energy or is energetically sick. And I didn't even know what a chakra was until after I graduated from Cal with my master's. So, I mean, let's just get real here. We left out pieces of the puzzle. And how can you identify a reality based on inaccurate or completely missing information? So, you have a blank slate for today. What is coming into you? What are you receiving? What are you aligning with? And you have the ability to shift frequency in reality like you shift gears in a car. You guys feel me? Anybody ever drive a stick shift? I'm sure many people listening to this podcast have driven a stick shift. I learned how to drive on a tractor from the farm. So, I learned how to shift gears, and I wasn't very good at it. And if you ask my Uncle Jim, my great uncle, he said I took off like a big ass bird because I threw everybody off the hay wagon because I let the clutch out too fast. That's kind of funny. But honestly, I just shift into a different reality when I find myself, and you're shifting into the vortex. You're shifting into the point of attraction that you want as well. So if you want to talk about that in the context of the law of attraction, you're shifting into that which you want to attract. So if your reality for the day is not feeling good to you, shift until you find somewhere that you feel good. And guess what? You have the option to do that anytime during the day. And I'll tell you, this week has been really tough with my son. And he's an indigo. He's an omega indigo. Kid's a genius. Very sweet, very kind, very empathic. And I talk about him a lot. I named him Adam. We both died in childbirth. He was born blue. I mean, the kid's connected. He came in connected. There's an old soul in that baby body that I am to be in charge of, that baby body, and keep it safe in its development until he can pretty much maneuver his own being the way he's supposed to. Guess what? That soul in that body is way older than mine. I am so blessed that he picked me to be his mother. And I'm so blessed he picked his dad to be his dad, because he couldn't be him without us both. And no matter what level of our development, he needed us right in the exact places that we were for that exact reason. And, when I look at his birth chart and I talk to my astrologer friends, they're like, hey, listen, this issue, this thing that happened, 7-8 years after he was born was in his birth chart at the time of his birth. He knew it was going to be there. He knew it was going to happen. He contracted for this on a soul level, and he's developing accordingly because of it. And yes, there's different, choices, free will, and shifting into different realities that we've chosen, and we're choosing again this week. But, I have my kid back, my very happy child, and I'm going to do everything in my power to make that a reality for him every day because he's choosing his reality. I'm supporting his choice and his reality. And just because I'm older than him doesn't mean I know more than him. I'm learning too here. And I allow myself to be in the state of learning from my child. I don't always know everything. Even being connected, I don't always know everything. I value what he has to say to me. One time I was giving him a bath. He was wee little, and I think probably like 5. And he said, "You're my favorite mommy." I said, "Buddy, I'm your only mommy." And I thought about that after he went to bed. And I thought, oh my gosh, he meant that he was here before. And a lot of this stuff didn't really sink into me. Hindsight's 2020 until, I run it through a different filter because I have developed my spiritual beingness. And I'm like, oh, wow. And I'm his favorite? That's nuts. Oh my gosh, what a compliment. And my construct or concept that had been in place a lot of these times has to be challenged because it's an old concept. It's out of date. Would you go get a computer from the 70s and use it now? That's ridiculous. A, it would take up the whole room, and B, it's antiquated and it wouldn't work right. It is not compatible with all these other systems. So put it in that perspective for yourself if you need to. The energy is changing, my friends. We either change with it and shift into different realities, or we get left behind. It's that simple. You stay stuck. I don't know about you. I don't like being stuck. I don't like being stuck, and I like to learn, and I like to grow, and I like to freaking get uncomfortable. You know why I do? Because I know that the most growth comes from outside that comfort zone. So shift. You're learning stuff every single day. Good for you. I'm proud of you. And give yourself some homework today. I really think that, we can observe things into form. It takes absolutely zero faith. It just takes like the imagination and to be clear in your thoughts, even in this moment, as you are defining your reality. What do you feel? What are your extrasensory perceptions telling you? What's your gut telling you? What are you hearing? What are you seeing in your mind's eye? Or maybe you're seeing things in clouds or different shapes. What is that? What is that? We'll cover that the next podcast, I promise. Thank you for tuning in. We are going to do some really fun stuff in the coming week with the podcast, so stay tuned. I'm really excited about it as we learn and grow and progress through this process. As I should say, I learn and grow and progress through this process. You will see the podcast growing as well. It's like having a baby and raising it up. So maybe this week we'll have some super fun changes in store. I love you, great big bunches, and much love, many blessings. Follow me on Spreaker. Get on iTunes, share the podcast. I really appreciate it. Give me a like, share it on Facebook, share it with your friends. The more subscribers I get and the more listens and downloads we get, the better it will be for the center. And we're really excited about doing some really awesome nonprofit work. As this grows in abundance, I believe abundance should be shared. I will be sharing it with everybody that I can share it with. I'm super blessed. I am super excited. Much love, many blessings. Peace out.